Lots of torque. This speedometer built in to the motor there needs to be calibrated. It's not near as accurate as my GPS. It's all gearing of the motor and the chain and all that stuff. This is actually for a bigger bike. But the sprocket that fits on the bigger bike is a 10-tooth 520 chain. This is a 428 chain with a 14. So I went and just threw this on here since this bike was already street legal. And I converted it years ago with a hub motor shoved in the middle. But this works so much better. And just a little tiny battery. It's rated, it's supposed to be 60 volts, fully charged is 71. And anyone that watched the video the other day would wonder, what the hell is this for? Well, this is my 80 volt backup battery that when the BMS built into this little pack here decides to shut down the pack because it gets too much current pulled out of it, the only way to recover is to plug in the charger. Well, this has the same power as the charger. I just pop it in there and it wakes this up, and it got me home. I can do that a couple times. If I hit the current and draw too much, it'll do that. Just a switch here, 3 different positions, 1, 2, and 4. I don't know why they skipped 3, but if you put it in 4, the acceleration is so intense, it'll wheelie. The bike will definitely get a wheelie, even when you don't want it to. And yeah, I know no one's gonna believe that until I show them, right? I need to get a bigger battery. I've got plenty of room here. I need a 72 volt at about 300 amps. This is 60 volts, which is a full charge, will be 71. The fully charged 72 volt will be 84 at 300 amps. It's like a dead short across it. I haven't built it yet, but they're out there. I just need to do it myself because I ain't paying $3 grand for that. Why is there a light bulb here? Well, because this motor and controller requires so much current, this pack can't handle it. I think it stops at 200 amps. It decides, because the controller is set for 350, I can go in there and change that, which I plan to do here soon. Just using a computer tool. I can't do it on the phone. I wish I could, but I didn't know what I was buying. Oh, by the way, when I bought the bike, secondhand from the second owner, it only had 350 miles as a gas-powered vehicle, and I never got it to run. So I pulled the motor out and converted it to electric. So these miles you see, subtract 350 from that, and those are all electric. And I did 26 the other day. Check that video out if you hadn't seen it, because that was the longest range I've ever gotten on it. And I definitely ran the battery down to 52 or 53 volts. So almost 20 volts lower. See, right now it's at 68. And the reason it's showing current draw, well, I'd like to show you this. It's kind of cool. If I hit the throttle slowly, and I've got it in the first speed here, you can see it right here on the display, that 1 right there. Because if you put it in the middle, it goes to 2. Come on, there it is. And if you go all the way, it goes to 4. So once I get a bigger battery, I'll be able to run it in 4 all day long, and it will just be a monster screaming. Way too fast for this bike. I need at least a front disc brake to be able to slow down, because it's already right within my limits. Just give myself a little extra room there. So check out the current meter here. Well, if I can get the display to show. Here we go. All right, so you just slowly start giving some throttle. Goes positive. See it wide open. It's got regeneration. That's why it's basically putting on the brakes using the motor, engine braking. So it leveled off at 20 amps, but there's no load, so you're going to see a lot more current when you're actually riding it with a load. In fact, that cobalt battery, that 80 volt battery by itself, ran the other controller freewheeling like this. But as soon as I tried to ride it, it popped the main fuse inside the. And this may be one that has it. I just went in there and put a very thin wire across it, just because I only use that for like edging, and I have a push lawnmower, but I don't need it because I have a robot. It's not on right now, but this is what the robot can do. It's a Landroid made by Works, and I have a brand new battery on order that's supposed to be 8 amp hours, and I have a wireless camera Reolink security camera that I'm going to mount on that, tapping into the battery, the bigger battery, and I've got a voltage regulator I got for that. All right, the light bulb. What's up with the light bulb? Well, I'll show you. Shut this down, turn everything off. Everything off. Okay, so if I unplug the main battery here and it sits for a while and plug it back in, that battery, that light bulb will light up very dimly and then slowly go to nothing. Without this bulb in series with this, it will kill the BMS in here because it's trying to draw too much current. It's pulling so much current out of the battery into the controller because the controller's got these giant capacitors in there. That's how it can, on demand, give that much power. But the battery's not designed for this. I'm really surprised this works. I've had this kit for over a year now and didn't know that I could do this. I learned how to do the light bulb trick years ago as a technician working on stereos. So what we do is we turn the key on. Now all that does is supply power to all the running lights. There's my tail light. And right now this switch is closed, open. So if I give it some throttle, because right now this is not even on, I have to flip this switch. All right, now it's on. But this won't work until the key is on. That's a safety switch, and so is this one here. But this one kills the controller, kinda. So if I give it throttle without this switch closed, watch what happens to the light bulb. Come on, light bulb. So it comes on, but it kills it. I'm blipping the throttle right now, and the controller says, something's wrong, you don't have enough power. Let's see how much current we got here. Come on. Having trouble seeing this out in the sunlight. Okay, here we go. So we're showing 62 volt. Give it a little bit of throttle. And it drops. So what happens is the light bulb is limiting how much current is coming out. But since it's already dimmed down to nothing when there's no load. Oh, I killed it for sure. There it goes. When you close the switch, there's a contactor, big ass relay that the light bulb is actually in parallel with. So now the switch is closed for the relay and the light bulb will no longer be in the circuit. Now it's a dead short across it. So now when I give it throttle, the light bulb's no longer there. The relay's doing all the work, not allowing all the current to go through it. Now, it works. Just like that. First time I'd seen a motocrosser do those super sky-high jumps off a dirt track. They go up really high and they do all the different tricks. And you can control the angle of the bike by the RPMs of the torque of the motor. Seeing that in midair, wondering, how did they figure that out? I don't think Evil Knievel could do that kind of stuff because he was basically on a street bike that was modified. We didn't have all the suspension that we have today. Even this old bike here from '93 couldn't handle that. Can jump this. It'll wheelie, but suspension I definitely need to work on it. You can see one of the boots is falling off of there. I only paid $250 for this. Yep, and I had a title with it. The other bike that I'm working on is a lot bigger. It's a 350 Suzuki, and I have a title, but I need to get it switched over to be street legal. But all I got to do is put all the lights and stuff on it, just like this one is. Even the horn works on it. It's all street legal. I bring it into the motorcycle shop every year for inspection, which is due here. Pretty much, I could do it now. It's due in June. So, and they always get a kick out of it. They haven't seen it like this yet with the real motor in it. They're going to be like, oh, I need to ride that. If they want to, as long as they're safe. Anyway, I know this is a boring video. Anybody that's been watching my channel for all these years, I thank you for that. I used to get paid for that, but they changed the rules. I have to have 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm barely 300. But I know it's boring. But it is what it is. Just is what I do. Yep, that's pretty much it.